What's going on, guys? SasDood here. You could just call me Sas. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day or night. I'm recording this at 3 a.m. But uh today's book review slash comic review or whatever you want to call it is on this Borderlands Origins. This is this particular book is a graphic novel collection of the first 4 volumes. There's only 4 volumes, 1 through 4, of the Origins comics in a graphic novel style format here. So, show it off a little bit. I'll show it off in more detail, the paneling and things like that, uh, in a little bit here. But this came out in May of 2013. It's published by IDW, I believe. Yeah, so special thanks to Randy Pitchford, IDW Comics, and obviously I believe it's with the blessing of Gearbox because it is their IP. And this is a really awesome book. This is a really awesome comic, and I feel like any fan of the Borderlands franchise will really enjoy this book. So I'm going to swap the camera and I'm going to talk about the book, some of the stories, some what I think about the paneling, the dialogue, things of that nature. I'm not going to go super in depth, but yeah, I'm going to show off the book. So I'll see you guys there. All right, so here's the book right here. Let me just show it off right here. Borderlands Origins. The cover art is very sick. Do the typical Newman and Padilla. IDW is the publisher, as I said before. IDW Publishing. This was 18 bucks when it first came out, and you got a blurb, some artwork back here. Smash hit Borderlands is back in graphic novel. If we switch to the front here, you got some game artwork of, or like an in-game model of the 4 Vault Hunters here. Written by Mikey Newman, art by Augustine Padilla, colors by Esther Sands, letters by Sean Lee and Neil Uatiki. I don't know how to say that. Series edits by Tom Waltz, cover by Josie Holder, however you want to say it, Jeremy Caldwell. For the cover colors, collection edits by Justin Eisinger and Alonzo Simon, and collection design by Neil, however you say his name. So this is all 4 volumes in one a graphic novel here. And as you can see here, IDW Publishing. And I think down here it says this was published in 2013. And the comics separately were, I think, published a year before. So it took them, I don't know. Yeah, this came in May of 2013 if I'm looking at my notes here. But yeah, I'm going to show off some of the panels I like. And I'm going to just talk about the story here. Roland's story begins with his time in the Crimson Lands under the Atlas Corporation, and him and his like fellow squad mates here, right? It reveals certain secrets the military was hiding from him, and his like argument and how he became disillusioned and disfranchised with the Atlas Corporation and the Crimson Lance as a whole, why he chose to butt heads with the Atlas Corporation and why he decided to leave. So some cool stuff right here. Let me switch over to Lilith. So I'm not going to spoil the entire story. Lilith, I think, is my favorite here. So every start of their chapter starts with this very cool cover, like of like a full frame cover of the character. Got some credits up here too. Lilith's story starts with her early life as a kid and how she came to be a siren, and the old lady sirens talk about a prophecy right here. Her father dies. Somehow, maybe he got shot. I don't know. It doesn't really explain how he died. I think he just dies. I don't know. Yep, got the siren lady here. And then what's cool about Lilith and what makes her my favorite in this story is you get to see Commandant Steele and you get to see Maya. You can recognize that. Let me move the thing over. We see Maya here. But yeah, and that's pretty much explanation for her. There is a little bit of a romance with Lilith and Roland. If I can go over here. Um, right here, she kisses Roland. So I also forgot to mention with each of the different chapters here, at the end of the comic, which I'll show right here, you get some sketches of how they designed the character. So that's Roland's sketch designs. And let's see if we can get to Lilith right here. I really like the Borderlands art style. I might have to steal it. But yeah, this is all very cool. And it's really inspiring as an artist. Next, we have Mordecai. Mordecai starts with him injured. Lady comes in. He talks to the lady about how he got injured. And so this is his like backstory, I guess. And then the lady leads Mordecai to the same people who betrayed him or tried to kill him. And pretty much it. I'm not going to spoil the rest. It's not like there's much to see. Oh, those desktop notification. Here's Mordecai's sketches here. Pretty dang cool. Last, but certainly not least, we have Brick here. So Brick gets picked up by Marcus's bus. And this is kind of cool because he just talks. He doesn't even talk. They're just ore farming down here. And this is a Brick, and that's why they call him Brick. And then he gets into his backstory. He was with a gang on another planet, I believe, in Pandora. He and his gang extort these people. They take their kids and they extort some sort of ransom from them. Brick refuses, and he gets put in the prison by the citizens, and he goes off to take the kids back, basically. Now, what's kind of stupid about Brick at the end here is that he has no concept art whatsoever besides some of the accessory he wears. So his gloves, his boots, the chains, his gloves, and then they just have like a really early in-game model of him, I believe, because I don't think that looks like him in the actual game. That's just a like early in progress model here. And at the end of the comic, we have some cover art by Ray Billen right here on the left, the BL2 art by Gabe Eltab for Moxie. Moxie's looking good. She's always looking good, man. Wish I could draw Moxie that well. Salvador, Zero, Maya. I believe there's no Axton for some reason. Right? Where's Axton? I just noticed that there's no Axton on here. I wonder why, because Borderlands 2 had already come out. It already had been a year when this comic came out. We got Moxie in the Underdome, I believe it's called, from the BL1 DLC. Yeah, really great work on Moxie. Got the cover art here again. Got another art by Jeff Zornow. Lilith, this one's really cool. Really love the artwork on this. And then we just get Borderlands Origin. Yeah, that's some of the cooler panels. The paneling is very big. The dialogue is pretty minimal. The art is what's first and foremost in the center, right? There's not really a lot of waste. You know, when you have such a short issues like these, because these are 4 volumes, not many pages, you kind of have to make the most of every panel. So they went with a big and bold and bright approach with minimal dialogue, right? That's really cool. That's pretty much it for this. And I'm going to switch the camera back and I'm going to talk about my thoughts on the story and whether I think this is worth it or not. So, see you there, guys. All right. Now that I've showed off the panels and I've talked a little bit about the book, some of the most, if not all, the stories without spoiling anything, I just kind of want to talk a little bit about my thoughts and some notes that I have. So, what I thought about the story was the stories are nice and sweet and short, but unfortunately, they are non canonical as we see, you know, the original 4 Vault Hunters, Lilith, Brick, Roland, and Mordecai come back in Borderlands 2. And they come back in some shape or form in Borderlands 3 and 4, right? And the pre-sequel, obviously. Um, but yeah, there's no Krieg, there's no Gage. Gage is my favorite. If you don't know, I love Gage. I love Gage and I love Deathtrap. Um, but yeah, this was released a year after Borderlands 2. This came out in May of 2013, so we're not gonna see any of those DLCs, and we're not gonna see any of those depictions. There's not even Axton on that Borderlands 2 cover art, which is a little weird, unless I'm missing him somewhere. But yeah, but it's nice to have some backstories, no matter how weird or like how non-canon they are. What was disappointing about the book, I think the only disappointing thing is with Brick, they don't really have any concept art for him. It's just a early 3D in-game render, which there is no art book for Borderlands 1, but there has been concept art released, and the development has been consistently been, tracked and developed and documented. Documented is a better word than developed. So I guess you can go through that way, but it'd be nice to have some sketches because we don't have a Borderlands 1 book. We have Borderlands 2, Borderlands 3, Borderlands 4, and we have Tiny Tina Wonderlands, but we have no Borderlands. And I believe we don't have a pre-sequel art book either, but a lot of people don't like the pre-sequel for some reason, nor do they very like Borderlands 1. They just think Borderlands 2 and is the better game, which better game, yes, but I prefer Borderlands. I'm a boomer. Yeah, I think Lilith is my favorite in terms of story. I really like how the author has drawn Lilith, how they depict her abilities as like this like translucent purpley galaxy shape. And I like the idea of the sirens, even though that's been walked on and crapped on and treaded upon and retconned over the years with the newer writers taking over after pre-sequel and Tales from the Borderland, which is a little disappointing. But I mean, you also get to see Maya and you get to see Commandant Steel. And, I'm a fan of Commandant Steel. I might have to draw some fan art of quote unquote, I don't chick about wow. I'm kidding. But I do like Commandant Steel, and I feel like she should have been given more of a purpose and more of a origin story rather than just her being some random person that gets killed, you know, by the Vault Destroyer at the end of BO1. Spoiler alert. But yeah, Lilith would be first. I think Mordecai would be second. Roland would be third, and Brick would be my fourth in terms of favorites. But I pretty much like them equally. They're all kind of teetering next to each other. Is this worth it though? I forgot how much I paid for it, but I don't think I paid more than $20, like 10 maybe. It was a long time ago. This book's been sitting on my shelf for God knows how long, probably like a year or two, and I read it immediately, but I'm just getting now to reviewing it because I've been reading a lot of my books. I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks, and I'm just trying to get through my backlog, trying to write down my notes. I've been trying to just pump these videos out as of recently. Um, but yeah, I would say this is worth it if you can find it. I think A Books has it for around $5 or $6, but I don't know how much they have in stock. You can find it on eBay for $20, $30, and there's a lot more resellers selling it for up and above. But yeah, I mean, originally this was $18, which is the price of a modern book. If I go over here, I have the Tiny Tina Wonderlands comic, which I also did a review on. So if you want to know more about Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, Land of the Giants, on the back it's $20. I paid, I don't know, $10, $15. This is a newer one, but since this is older, you're gonna have to pay a little bit more, and it depends on stock issues and such. You also have Moxie's Mysterious Mementos, which is newer than the Tiny Tina Wonderlands one that I've got here, and this one has less pages. And they're the same. Moxie's Mysterious Mementos graphic novel / trade paperback is also like $20. Yeah, this is a quick read. The paneling is huge and expansive. The dialogue is minimal, and it's more of a style over substance kind of thing. Flashiness, but that's always what the Borderlands series has always relied on. They don't really have much of a story to go off of. It's only recently, in like I don't know, Borderlands 2 pre-sequel, you know, that they've kind of elevated the story little bit above. You know, Borderlands 3 didn't really story, but it was okay enough. But yes, I would say it's worth it if you can find it for 10 or 20 bucks. Even if a little bit more, you're gonna pay maybe 30 bucks. I would say yes. If you are a older fan, like I am, if you're just a fan of Borderlands in general, and you like all the OGs, and you really like the artwork and you really like comments, I would say yeah. This book is definitely worth it for any Borderlands fan and just any comic fan in general because the artwork and the paneling is amazing. It reminds me of Akira Toriyama with the huge panels. Anyways, that's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you wish to support me and my videos, all my payment and tipping links, as well as social medias, will be in my profile. More videos, more artwork, and some new things and more book reviews and comic reviews and novel reviews will come regardless. And trust me, a lot more of these will be coming in the future. Goodbye for now, guys. Thanks for watching.